Yeah, let's just give it to Rumi. Alright? Okay, so let's move on. So he says, don't keep complaining about loneliness. Let the fear language of that theme crack open and float away. Let the priest come down from his tower and not go back up. So he says, if you keep complaining about being lonely, then you really should do something about it. See, the thing, so what is he saying? He is equating loneliness with people who are living in fear. Remember that this persona is someone who takes risks, who lets passion run roughshod through him. He doesn't talk about or think about keeping his heart safe or keeping something for himself or making sure that there's still dignity after everything is said and done. He doesn't think about that. He's just all love, all passion. And if you have that kind of fearlessness within you to chase after someone that you want to be with, then there's a great chance that you are not going to be lonely. Okay? Because you don't let fear control you, right? So he says, if you keep complaining about loneliness, then you really should think about not letting fear control you. And then it's important to focus on the little word crack open, because if we go back to the idea of you're granite and I am wine glass, and thinking about putting those two things together and letting those two things touch, when you do it with passion, one is bound to crack, and that's the empty wine glass. But what do you get when you let the empty wine glass crack open? Then you get the two of them together. So if you don't fear the cracking of yourself, the cracking open of your heart, then you will never be lonely. But if you let the idea of, oh no, I am an empty wine glass, I can't get near this granite because I'm gonna crack open, and if that happens, then the wine glass will forever be separate from the granite. You'll be lonely, right? So that's what he's saying. And then you have there the last part of the last few lines. Let the priest come down from his tower and not go back up. And this is probably the only indication that, hey, what he's talking about is not just love as in lover, beloved. This can be about faith. If you are a priest, you're up there in your tower preaching to everyone, it's hard to reach people, right? But anyway, let's set that aside for a little bit and just keep this mostly as a love poem, right? So let the priest come down from his tower and not go back up. If you are up there in a tower like Rapunzel, you are safe, most definitely, because no one can get to you. Like, if, let's say, for example, this coronavirus turns everyone into zombies and it becomes zombie apocalypse time, and you are up there in your tower, you are safe, most definitely. But remember, when Rapunzel was stuck in that tower, all she wanted to do was get down from that tower and finally experience life, because she understood that living a safe life within that tower wasn't life at all. She wasn't alive, so she would rather go down from the tower and risk everything just to be able to have the chance to live. Okay? So if you're high up, you're safe. Definitely, if you're high up, it also means if you're up there in a tower, you have lofty ideals, or meaning you have so much, intelligent theories about life and love and all of that. But you, no one, no one's ideas of love are ever tested in a vacuum. I believe you're up there in your tower, have your long hair. I believe that love is like a rosary. It has so many mysteries. But you're just there up there in the safety in your tower. There's no one to test that stupid theory of love being like a rosary full of mysteries. The best way to really test the theory is to get down from your tower, stop thinking about it for a while, and really test it out with actual, real people. And actually loving someone, taking the risk of loving someone, and taking the risk of getting your heart broken. But that's the only way to love and be with someone, if you're willing to take that risk. All right, so that's all right. So I think we've just about squeezed out everything from Granite and Wineglass as a love poem. Now let's go back. Now let's try to take it up a notch and think about this as a poem about believing in God, believing in the existence of God. Right? When you think about it, it's really not far, this relationship between love and faith. Because if you excuse me. Because if you believe that someone loves you, that takes a lot of courage. Because you're never, it doesn't matter if you've been with that someone for 10 years, 70 years. No one can really know a person, a person's most innermost being, So when someone says, I love you, just believing in that idea, even though he's showing it and he's saying it every day, it still doesn't mean that he's going to love you forever or when you have corona, when you get coronavirus, is he still gonna love you enough to stay away from you? Or is he gonna love you enough to, I don't know, bring you to the hospital? I don't know. That's clearly very irresponsible. But, you can never really tell if someone really, really loves you, even though he or she is, showing it that much. So the act of believing that someone loves you without any kind of physical manifestation is a lot like believing in God. Because, if you believe in, you can't see him. When you pray to him, he doesn't talk, he doesn't answer your prayers, he doesn't talk back to you. There's and even you do go through certain papers of saints or popes about that try to prove the existence of God. It's still all purely cerebral. There's nothing tangible that proves that God exists. He just exists because you believe in it. So that's why faith and love are actually very closely related to each other, almost as if they're the same kind of emotion. Clearly believing that something exists, even though there's no physical manifestation of it. That's love. That's faith. Right? So it's not actually too far from each other.